Imagine a world gripped by darkness, where faith is a crime punishable by death. A ruthless king demands worship of false gods, and anyone who dares to believe in the one true God faces unimaginable torment. But what if a group of young believers discovered a secret refuge, a cave that would become their eternal sanctuary? What if Allah Himself intervened, sealing them in a miraculous sleep that defied time itself? You won't believe how long they slumbered, or the shocking revelation that awaited them upon awakening. This isn't just a tale from ancient legends. It's a divine miracle etched in the Holy Quran, a story that challenges everything we know about time, faith, and God's mercy. Picture this: in the heart of a tyrannical empire, whispers of monotheism spread like wildfire among the youth, but danger lurks in every shadow. The king's spies are everywhere, and execution awaits those who defy the idols. Why did these brave souls flee into the unknown? And what hidden truth about their cave would stun the world centuries later? Some sources say their story echoes through history, inspiring believers across generations. But the real shock? It's not just about survival, it's about a test of faith that could change your perspective forever. As we dive into this gripping narrative from Surah Al-Kahf, prepare for twists that will leave you breathless. Will their secret be uncovered? How? Did a simple dog become part of this divine plan? And what message does Allah send us through their astonishing awakening? Stay with us till the end to uncover the shocking truth about the sleepers of the cave. Hit that play button and let's begin this cinematic journey into one of Islam's most mysterious miracles. The sun hung low over the ancient city of Ephesus, casting long shadows across its bustling streets. This was the Roman Empire in the 3rd century AD, a time when Emperor Decius ruled with an iron fist. His decree was clear: all must bow to the pagan gods, offering sacrifices at grand temples adorned with marble statues of Jupiter and Apollo. The air was thick with the scent of incense and roasted offerings, but beneath the facade of prosperity lurked a suffocating fear. Christians and early monotheists whispered in hidden alleys, their hearts heavy with the knowledge that defiance meant death, torture in public arenas, or exile to forgotten lands. Ephesus was a jewel of the empire, its harbors alive with merchants. From distant shores, trading silks, spices, and secrets. Grand amphitheaters echoed with cheers for gladiators, while libraries housed scrolls of forgotten wisdom. Yet, spiritual decay had set in. Idolatry reigned supreme, and the emperor's spies infiltrated every corner, rooting out those who clung to the belief in one unseen God. Families were torn apart. Friends betrayed one another for favor. In this cauldron of oppression, faith became a dangerous spark that could ignite rebellion. Amid this turmoil emerged our heroes, a group of noble young men, their exact number debated in traditions, but often said to be 7, accompanied by their faithful dog. These youths were from elite families, sons of courtiers and advisors to the emperor himself. They moved through the palace halls with grace, their robes flowing like whispers of silk, but their eyes held a fire that no idol could extinguish. The leader among them, let's call him Yamlikar in some narrations, was a visionary soul, tall and resolute, with a gaze that pierced through deception. His companions, names like Maximilian, Martinian, and others passed down in lore, shared his unyielding belief in Tawheed, the oneness of God. Tension simmered as rumors spread. The Emperor Decius, a man of unbridled ambition with a crown that seemed to weigh heavier each day, grew paranoid. "Who dares challenge the gods?" he thundered in his opulent throne room, his voice echoing off gold-plated walls. His advisors bowed low, but whispers reached the young men. A purge was coming. Sacrifices were mandatory, and refusal meant flames, or wild beasts. The youths gathered in secret, their hearts pounding. "Brothers," Yamlikar said, his voice low and urgent, "we cannot bow to these stones. Allah is our Lord. and He alone deserves our worship. The city buzzed with anticipation of the grand festival, where all must prove their loyalty. Banners fluttered in the wind, depicting mythical deities, while priests chanted incantations. But for our protagonists, this was no celebration. It was a trap. They felt the noose tightening. Hints of divine intervention lingered in the air. Dreams visited them at night. Visions of a cave shrouded in mist, calling them to safety. Why this cave? Some sources in Islamic traditions suggest it was no ordinary refuge, but a place chosen by Allah for a miracle beyond human comprehension. The social conditions bred desperation. The poor suffered under taxes, the faithful under persecution. Faith was fracturing, and these young men stood at the crossroads of history. As the festival approached, urgency built like a storm cloud. The youths confided in each other, sharing stories of prophets past, Musa escaping Pharaoh, Ibrahim defying Nimrod. If Allah protected them, one companion murmured, He will protect us. But doubt crept in. The emperor's guards patrolled relentlessly. The scene was set for escape, a daring flight into the unknown. Little did they know, their journey would unravel a mystery that would echo through the ages, testing the limits of time and divine power. The festival day dawned with ominous skies, thunder rumbling like the emperor's wrath. Crowds thronged the temple square, the air heavy with the smoke of burning offerings. Emperor Decius, clad in purple robes embroidered with golden eagles, ascended the dais. His face, etched with lines of cruelty, scanned the masses. Today, we honor the gods. He proclaimed, his voice booming, all must sacrifice or face the consequences. Among the elite youth stood our heroes, their faces pale but determined. Yamlika's hand trembled slightly as he clutched a hidden amulet, a simple reminder of his faith. The line moved forward. One by one, nobles placed meat on altars, murmuring prayers to false deities. When it was their turn, the group hesitated. Whispers rippled through the crowd. "Bow down!" a guard snarled, sword glinting in the sun. But Yamlika stepped forward, his voice steady despite the fear gnawing at him. "We worship none but Allah, the creator of all," he declared. Gasps echoed. The emperor's eyes narrowed. "Seize them!" he roared. Chaos erupted, guards lunged, but the youths, agile and prepared, slipped through the throng. "Run, brothers!" Yamlika shouted, his heart racing. They fled the city gates, breaths ragged, the sound of pursuing horses thundering behind. Dust choked the air as they darted into the wilderness, hills rising like silent guardians. "Where do we go?" panted one companion, sweat beading on his brow. "To the cave," Yamlika replied, guided by an inner certainty. Legends spoke of a hidden cavern in the mountains, a place where outcasts sought refuge. But as they ran, a dog, Qitmir, as some traditions name him, joined them, tail wagging, as if sent by divine decree. The pursuit intensified. Arrows whistled past, shouts of traitors filled the valley. The youths climbed jagged rocks, hands bleeding, muscles aching. "Allah, protect us," they prayed in unison, their voices a desperate chorus. Finally, they reached the cave, a yawning mouth in the mountainside, cool and dark, vines draping its entrance like a veil. Inside, exhaustion claimed them. They huddled together, the dog at their feet, guarding the threshold. "What now?" whispered Martinian, fear etching his young face. "We wait," Yamlika said, "and trust in Allah's plan." As night fell, a strange calm descended. The cave's walls seemed to whisper ancient secrets, echoes of wind like angelic breaths. Unbeknownst to them, this was the trigger, the moment Allah's mercy would unfold in ways unimaginable. Outside, the Emperor's men scoured the land. "They can't have gone far," a captain barked, torches flickering. But divine intervention was at work. Allah commanded, as revealed in the Quran, "Strike a veil over their ears in the cave." A miraculous slumber enveloped the youths, their bodies preserved, untouched by decay. Time began to bend. What happened next will surprise you. The world outside changed, empires rose and fell, while they slept in perfect peace. The conflict had begun, faith versus tyranny, human will versus divine decree. The youth's escape sparked whispers of rebellion in Ephesus, but the emperor dismissed it, unaware that this event would become a testament to God's power. As days turned to weeks, their families mourned them as lost, but Allah had other plans. The cave became a cocoon of miracles, sealing them from the ravages of time. Deep within the cave, the sleepers lay in serene repose, their chests rising and falling in rhythmic harmony. Allah's command had turned their ears deaf to the outside world, their bodies shifting from side to side to prevent sores, a divine care detailed in the Quran. The dog, Qitmir, stretched across the entrance, forepaws extended, eyes ever watchful. Sunlight pierced the cave's mouth each morning, but it touched them not. They slumbered on, oblivious. Outside, the world spun into chaos. Emperor Decius, furious at their escape, intensified his persecutions. "Find them!" he demanded in heated council meetings, slamming his fist on marble tables. Temples overflowed with forced offerings, but cracks appeared in his rule. Rumors of the vanished youth spread like wildfire. Some called them martyrs, others fools. Years passed. Decius died, his empire fracturing under successors. Christianity began to rise, slowly eroding pagan strongholds, but the secret of the cave deepened. 300 solar years, equivalent to 309 lunar years, as the Quran precisely states, ticked by. Empires crumbled, Rome splintered, Byzantium emerged. Kings came and went, wars ravaged lands, yet the sleepers remained unchanged. Their hair didn't grey, their skin stayed youthful. It was as if time itself bowed to Allah's will. Some Islamic scholars interpret this as a sign of resurrection, a preview of the day of judgment when bodies will be revived. Tension built in the narrative of history. In the city, now under a new Christian ruler, debates raged about faith. A shepherd, seeking shelter for his flock, stumbled upon the cave. Curious, he removed stones blocking the entrance, perhaps placed there by divine design to hide them. Light flooded in, and the sleepers stirred. "How long have we slept?" Yamlicha murmured, rubbing his eyes. His companions awoke, stretching as if from a single night's rest. A day, or part of a day, one guessed, hunger gnawing at their stomachs. The rising tension was palpable. They pooled their coins, ancient silver from Decius's era, and sent Yamlicha to buy food, cautioning him to be discreet. "The king still hunts us," they warned, voices laced with urgency. Yamlicha ventured out, the world transformed. Fields he remembered as barren now bloomed with orchards, roads paved where paths once wound. The city gates loomed, but the banners were different. No pagan symbols, but crosses and monotheistic emblems. Heart-pounding, Yamlicha approached a baker. "Bread, please," he said, handing over a coin. The baker's eyes widened. "This is from Decius's time, 3 centuries ago," he exclaimed. Whispers spread, crowds gathered. "Who are you?" demanded a guard, suspicion in his tone. Yamlicha's mind reeled. "We fled the emperor." "Yesterday," he stammered. Laughter turned to awe as officials arrived. The secret was unraveling. These men were living relics, proof of God's miracles. Back in the cave, anxiety mounted. "What's taking him so long?" a companion fretted, pacing the dim space. Qitmir whined softly, sensing the shift. The city buzzed with excitement. Scholars pored over ancient texts, connecting dots to prophecies. But hidden truths emerged slowly. Allah had prolonged their sleep to demonstrate his power over time. A sign for doubters. As the Quran reveals, they said, "We have stayed a day or part of a day." But Allah knows best how long they stayed. The temptation of disbelief crept in. Some townsfolk scoffed, calling it trickery. Others, moved by faith, saw it as divine. The sleepers, reunited with Yamlicha, now under protection, shared their story. Dialogues echoed dramatically. Allah sealed us in His mercy, Yamlicha declared to the astonished crowd. We rejected idols for the one true God. Secrets layered upon secrets. Why them? Why the dog? Traditions say Qitmir's loyalty earned him paradise, a lesson in companionship. As word spread, urgency built. The new king, a believer, summoned them, but the miracle wasn't complete. What happened next would surprise you. The shocking twist that sealed their legacy forever. The city of Ephesus erupted in frenzy as the sleepers stood before the king in his grand hall, sunlight streaming through arched windows like beams of judgment. The air crackled with anticipation. Nobles, scholars, and commoners crammed the space, eyes wide with wonder. Yamlicha, flanked by his companions and the ever-faithful Qitmir, recounted their tale. We fled Decius's tyranny, seeking Allah's refuge, he said, voice trembling with emotion. In the cave, we slept. But how long? The king, a wise ruler named Theodosius in some historical accounts, leaned forward, his crown glinting. 300 years, he revealed, holding up ancient chronicles. Gasps filled the room. The big twist hit like a thunderbolt. Time had warped around them. Coins from their pockets matched relics in museums. Names etched in forgotten edicts confirmed their identities. It's impossible, cried a skeptic, but the evidence was undeniable. Their youthful faces amid a changed world. Tension peaked as doubters challenged them. Prove it, shouted one, fists clenched. The sleepers led a procession to the cave, hearts pounding. Dust swirled in the wind, mountains looming like silent witnesses. Inside, divine signs remained. Their bodies bore no marks of age. The cave's air still fresh with miracle, but the ultimate shock. Allah's words in the Quran. We turned them to the right and to the left. Anyone who saw them would have fled in terror. In this cinematic climax, visions flashed, empires falling in montages of fire and ruin, while the sleepers lay peaceful. The king fell to his knees. This is Allah's sign, he proclaimed. But the twist deepened. The sleepers, overwhelmed, prayed for release. We have delivered your message, they whispered. Allah, in His mercy, called them back to eternal sleep, or death, as interpretations vary, sealing the cave forever. Chaos ensued outside. Believers wept, skeptics converted. The dog's role shone brightly. Qitmir, guardian of the faithful, symbolizing loyalty's reward. The shocking truth. This wasn't just survival, it was resurrection's foreshadowing, proving Allah controls life, death, and time. The scene faded, with the cave's entrance collapsing, burying the miracle in stone, leaving the world stunned. As the dust settled over the sealed cave, peace descended upon Ephesus. The sleeper's story became a beacon, inscribed in mosques and hearts. From an Islamic perspective, this miracle teaches profound lessons. Faith in Allah triumphs over tyranny. The youth's unwavering tawhid, rejecting idols despite peril, earned divine protection. As the Quran states, they were youths who believed in their Lord, and we increased them in guidance. Humility shines through. They attributed all to Allah, never boasting. Obedience to God, even in flight, brought mercy. The dog's inclusion reminds us that loyalty and good company are blessed. What good is worldly power if it blinds us to Allah's signs? This tale warns against disbelief, urging us to heed miracles around us, sunrises, heartbeats, all timed by the divine. Inspiringly, it reinforces resurrection. Just as they awoke after centuries, we will rise on Judgment Day. Let this story fuel your faith. In trials, seek Allah's refuge. True power lies in submission, leading to eternal mercy. May Allah guide, us all to the straight path, protect our faith as he protected the sleepers, and grant us understanding of his signs. Ameen. If this story touched your heart, like, comment, and subscribe to Religious Story TV for more cinematic Islamic tales. Share it with loved ones. It might inspire someone today. What do you think about this story? Have you heard it before? Or did the shocking details surprise you? Drop your thoughts below. We'd love to hear.